Hey, welcome back. It's now day 26 of our Inktober Tangles 2022, and I'm Yehudit Steinberg, and I am a certified Zentangle instructor, and that is Bop in the background of my wonderful little companion, and he's thinking about barking, and hopefully he will go back and rest a little bit until we finish this video. So today we're going to learn a pattern, Feliz. And what we do in this particular series is that we have 31 days, 31 patterns, and I have divided it into two parts. One part is we are going to draw the step out so that you can recreate the pattern anytime you want in the future. And at the end of 31 days, you have a whole series of how to recreate these patterns, and you don't have to go looking for them all over the internet because they're kind of hard to find. So anyway, here is Feliz, and you can see the step out. The Sabine Abel is the CZT, the Certified Zentangle instructor, who created this pattern, and she has given us the 6-step Zentangle method step out. So we're going to draw that now. Now I have a beginner's guide, and if you haven't downloaded that yet, the link is in the description, and it gives you everything you need to know to do this challenge, whether it's in October 2022, or it could be, March of 2023, because you will have all the links to the videos that I've created with step outs and everything else that you need. So if you haven't watched the intro video, you can check that out. But we're going to move forward into drawing this step out together. And let's go over to my studio and let's get started. If I'm doing, there we go. It's coming up. Here we go. Okay, so included in the beginner's guide is this mandala template, and we have been meeting here, and every time we meet in here, we also draw the pattern on this mandala, and as you can see, it's almost complete. Isn't that exciting? I'm really excited about it too. So let's get started without any further ado, and let's take a close look at the step out. And I have the pattern that we will draw on the mandala after we draw this step out. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm new. This is a new channel. I just started October 1st for this challenge, and I'm getting used to how to show you with the video, but there's still a few shaky moments and things like that until I get everything perfect. But hopefully you'll bear with me and you can get what's really needed. Now this is called a graph pattern, and we're going to start with step number 1 with drawing some dots. So let's get started. I like to start off with my pencil just because these dots are really important, and if they're not placed in the right place, then I might not have room to draw the pattern in the small box. So I want to make sure that my first row has starts somewhere like that. And then we're gonna do 3 dots, try to keep it equal. And then I'm gonna come over to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing, keeping it and then matching this up. Now I'm going to pick up my contrasting color, which helps us identify which step is a new step. That is how we tell in the with the Zentangle method. So I'm going to put it on the dot. And then I'm going to put these in the center here. And 3. So now while we go over to step 2, take your black pen and draw those dots while I show you the next step. So this is this is a pattern that you want to stay focused. That's again, allow yourself some space from the edge on both sides, make them even. Okay, so now that's a little uneven, but it doesn't have to be perfect because this is art. This is drawing, but we want to kind of get into the area of it, but it'll work. So now what we're going to do is, let me show you. We're going to draw a straight, in the center, we're going to draw a straight line up and down. Zigzag. Let's go. We'll do the same on this row. Yeah, that was a little. Okay, so let's go over here and recreate this with our black pen. There we go. Now let's get ready for the next step. So it's pretty simple. Now we're going to duplicate on the other side. So we're going to come and give us a all right. Now let's redraw that here with our black pen. And we're getting there. One of the things I like about drawing the step outs as I really get a chance to understand the pattern and feel for it, I draw it, I'm drawing it step by step, but actually, we draw it quite a few times to get the step out done. And by the time that's done, we're pretty familiar with the pattern, and we can draw it in our drawing. Okay, so now the next step, it's pretty repetitive, but we're going to turn our paper and we're going to connect the top, middle, and bottom, and it's going to create a design. And that's what's really cool about grid patterns. So we're going to turn our pattern. And going to start here. I'm going to do it down here. This is where it takes some focus and attention. And that's the beauty of Zentangle, to be able to give us the relaxation time. So there you go. Now, it's just pretty much, we're going to come over here and recreate that. What I want to do next time, though, is I want to make these slimmer, because we're going to put something in here. So I want these to be bigger next time. So don't jump ahead of me. And let's see if we can get that happening. So I've got oops. I kind of want this to be like that. It'll blend in. Okay, so I'm going to make these a little thinner. And see what happens, because I want to open the space in the middle. And that's what I mean about drawing the pattern. After you get this a couple of times, you and this works, but I'm not going to be able to get a pattern in here that I'd like to show you how to do. So we'll try and make these a little bit thinner. and see what happens. So that's what you want to play with too, because you can play around with the with this design and get a lot of different kinds of effects. Okay, so I'm going to turn this. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it thin. Not as fat as the other one. Then I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to put one here. See, we opened up. Now we have the star in the center. There we go. That's the shape it's kind of the shape we wanted. And now the next step is to or draw a parallel line around the star. Slowly take your time. So you can see with some practice too, you can vary what's going on here. And by the width and how you draw your lines, that comes with practice. And a lot of these tangles, this is the first time I'm drawing them. And so a lot of them are really new to me. In fact, most of them are. So it's been a great learning experience joining Inktober Tangles 2022. And now we're going to recreate this over here, and I will show you, we're going to embellish and make a few embellishments. So it's a fun tangle. I think it could be, you could use it as a border. You could use it as a center. And it will be interesting to see what others have done with it. Oh, and I'm covering this all up. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. So. Now we're a pro drawing this, because this is like our fourth time we are doing this. Now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to draw here. we'll put the top on it. Yeah. So it's basically the same line repeated. Okay. Now we want to aura. And you know, if you want to, and on this one, I did a contrasting color, but this is a step out, so we don't do that here. But think about it for when you put it on your mandala. Now you might be looking at this and saying, gee, the lines look a little scrawny. There's a few little squiggles here and there, but when you start building it out, it will, with shading and coloring and your finishing techniques, that kind of goes away. So the next thing that we're suggesting with this pattern is in these spaces here, we're going to put a couple of orbs. Okay, and we're going to fill, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do that on this side. Looks like it might even want 4. Some of them do, and some of them don't. So you be the artist. You be the judge. It's your work. But this is basically giving you the pattern so that you can recreate this in a future date. This is a 4x6 card that I'm working on. I'm also working on a stencil. When in November, I'm going to do a whole series on my materials and supplies. And so I will be showing you how I organize my my tangles, my tangle patterns, and give you a few different variations so that you can find the system that works best for you. And because if you're going to take Zentangle seriously, you're going to learn a lot of patterns, and you'll want to be able to have a catalog of your, especially your favorite patterns, and be able to access that, and then be able to decide to pull out the step out so that you can recreate the pattern when you want to. So that concludes, well, we want to put in here that Sabine Abel is the creator of this pattern and Step Out. Thank you, Sabine. We have copyright permission to use these patterns. So in case you were wondering. Okay. So That is Feliz. Okay, I always think I want to, for some reason, I want to call it Felix. But it's Feliz. Feliz. So I want to correct that there. All right. So now you want to go and so this is the pattern. I'm going to go grab let me see, where am I? Hold on a minute. All right. So we just did the step out. Now we want to go to part 2. Go grab your mandala, and this is the template, and you can get a copy of this in the beginner's guide and just put it up on your window and trace around it, and you're good to go. So let's jump back into the studio and get this drawn on our mandala. Okay, there we are. Hold on a minute. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we're back in the studio, and all right. Okay, so where are we going to put this pattern? This is pattern 26. I decided that I'm going to put it here. We're almost done. So again, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to draw 1. If you're working with a bigger space, then you might be able to I'm going to move it over a little bit. That's why I start with a pencil, just to make sure I have the right spacing. I think that'll work. Now I'm going to grab my pen, and away we go. Remember, we started with just drawing these lines. And then we came back. So I'm going to keep them thin, because I want that center to start, because I want to be able to create that pattern in the center. Now I'm going to turn this so I can get this done. Keeping it thin. I want to remind you as well that this is a beginner's channel. I take my time. I don't speed up. I also guide you, and this is a draw along. If you draw with me, if you like. Do you have questions? You can put them in the comments, and I will answer all of your questions and comments. Now I'm going to come in with my gold, and I hope it's not too thick for this little, but because it tends to make thicker lines. But I love the way it flows, so I use it almost exclusively. My students are now working with the gold. I like gold, black and white, and then little pops of color, and you can see it. You know, if that's something you like. Classic Zentangle is black and white. So I tend to, on this beginner's channel, not teach color. And teach the basics. And I will be teaching some basic shading. Now, okay, so I want to mark the center of this with a little dot. And then I want to put in my orbs. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the orbs all the way around. But I'm not going to do it all on this video because it'll take too long. But I'm going to go in between the white spaces here. And I'm going to darken it. So I'm going to do that all the way around. As you can see here in my example. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an aura, a parallel line all the way around the outside. So I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to send you on your way to go out and do your own thing if you haven't already done it. And if you have, just check in with what some other people have done. You can get the Zentangle app free in your app store. And there's a lot of different ideas. We learn from each other, and that's part of the process. And it's part of what I teach in expanding your creativity. So it doesn't always come all from your head, but if you're super, super creative and you're just have, you know, it's really individual. But I want to thank you for coming and watching and drawing with me on this video. And so I have this, I just bought this new mouse, and it's not really acting much better than my other mouse. So anyway, come back for tomorrow, day 27, Norfellow. And this is an interesting pattern. I found it a little tricky, but it has a lot of movement, and it's created by Rick Roberts, one of the co-founders of Zentangle, and his patterns that he's created, Diva Dance and now Norfellow, they have a lot of movement. So if you want to add movement into your art, Norfellow is a pattern for you. You can grab the beginner's guide, the links in the description. You can subscribe. I am just a couple of subscriptions away from my first 100. And I want to thank all of you who have subscribed, who have opted in for the beginner's guide and the email. I look forward to communicating with you, and we're going to have a Zoom meetup after Inktober is over and share. So it'll be a show and tell, and I will see you on the next video. This is Yehudit Steinberg, certified Zentangle instructor, and I am checking out. Take care. See you soon. Bye.